March is Women's History Month, and this morning we're learning a little about the first female wrestling owner and promoter in the state of Louisiana. The Morning Loop's Jason Garrett sat down with Brittani Houghtlen to hear how she got into the business.
Let me introduce you to Brittani Houghtlen. Before we get to this point where we are now, let's go back to where it all started.
I always was a wrestling fan. I grew up in Ohio in a little town called Norwalk in the middle of nowhere, and my parents watched wrestling, so I grew up on wrestling.
Now, in today's time, Brittani will forever be in professional wrestling history books as the first ever female owner and promoter in the state of Louisiana in a sport that's typically dominated by men.
Yeah, it is a very male-dominated sport, and being a woman in pro wrestling in general, but being a woman, a promoter, and the first ever in Louisiana, I didn't realize that until I got my license and I got my promoter's license and everything. I didn't realize that I was making history.
She is the proud owner of Elevate Pro, which she has owned almost 2 years now, and been in the wrestling business for 6 years. So what is it like being a young female owner and promoter in this sport?
It's rough. It really is one of those things of you have to earn respect in every aspect of business, but when it comes to being a woman in professional wrestling who doesn't even wrestle, I don't take bumps, I don't get hit with chairs, I don't go off flying off the ropes, so it's a little bit more push for me to have to earn respect and show them, like, I know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm doing, and I know the business.
Who is a great influence in this business that has power in a company or works in wrestling?
Stephanie McMahon is definitely a huge influence when it comes to being able to run a company, be a woman in authority, and get the point across, and also still play a fun character.
Brittani says Elevate Pro will forever be her baby. They are expanding every day and puts the spotlight on wrestlers that are still learning. They also are a haven for wrestlers who have been in the business for years but is not being seen in Louisiana for some time.
I like to push it when it comes to that. I don't just give one version of wrestling. I want to run the gambit and also showcase more women's matches as well.
Brittani is hoping to make history again. When the borders and travel opens back up, Pakistan is going to host its first ever women's wrestling tournament. And guess who is the special commentator? You guessed it, Brittani. So what does she think of all this travel and hard work?
I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
We've got you covered. Jason Garrett, CBS 19.